Over the last week, bombshell reporting has come out stating that not only will the NDP not be handed official party status just because, but that in the final stretch of the election, the party wasted a ton of their very limited amount of resources on a Hail Mary attempt to win Jagmeet Singh's riding, which everybody knew was a lost cause. The reason this is really bad is because what Jagmeet Singh could have done was selflessly give up his own riding and divert that time and money to much more winnable ridings. Jagmeet Singh lost his riding by 12,000 votes. Here in Manitoba, Elmwood-Transcona, a highly progressive part of the province, went to the Conservatives because of Layla Dance, the NDP candidate, getting 3,000 less than the Conservative. Even in the riding right next to Jagmeet Singh, the NDP incumbent, Peter Julian, lost his riding by only 2,000 votes. The NDP, in their last dying moments, used their incredibly limited resources to try and prop up their dying leader and put the nail in the coffin for so many winnable ridings. But now that the election is over, there is still a bunch of work left for the NDP, and it doesn't even look close to being able to survive. We are seriously staring down the barrel of a dissolution of the federal NDP as we know it. The last time the NDP did this bad was never. But the last time the NDP got a single-digit amount of seats was in 1993 with Audrey McLaughlin. And the only way the NDP was able to survive that was with Alexa McDonough treading water for 2 elections, and then with the absolute Chad that was Jack Layton. And I don't know about you, but I don't think anyone in Canada has the ability of Jack Layton right now. And I don't even think the NDP has what it takes at this point. It's not just their interim party leader and the remaining 6 other MPs that need to do some self-reflection. Think about the fact that it wasn't Justin Trudeau who forced the NDP to rock with Jagmeet Singh, even though he did absolutely nothing but lose them seats almost every election. Andrew Scheer didn't bust into the NDP's headquarters with a knife, a crazy smile, and a gallon of milk and force them to keep Jagmeet Singh. All of this brings up the question, wait, who actually did vote for Jagmeet Singh? Well, the people did, but not really.
But first, I want to say happy birthday to Luxane. If you want to get a happy birthday wish just like Luxane, make sure to join the Discord just like Luxane. It's super cool over there. Please join.
She gag on my meat till I sing was voted in with 53.83% of the vote in the 2017 leadership election, beating out NDP members Charlie Angus, Nikki Ashton, by the way, Nikki Ashton, I hate you, thank God you lost your seat, and Guy Caron to become leader of the NDP. And broadly, it was as democratic as it could be. I mean, it's the new Democrat Party, except for the fact that it took $30,000 to start a campaign, and the only people who could vote were members of the party, which sounds normal, except when you remember the fact that it costs money for people to join the party, having to pay yearly just to have your voice heard. And even then, Jagmeet Singh only got just barely over the 50% mark. And in the next election, halved his party's seat count. It's one thing to say the NDP is incompetent and their voters are stupid. I don't actually think that's the case. Most people today realize that Charlie Angus would have been a much better leader than Jagmeet Singh. Charlie Angus said he would be stepping down, and when he made the announcement that he was going to continue to step down, everybody was very saddened by his resignation. But even back then, the numbers were a lot closer in other polls than the paid member election. In the polls done for the party that focused on people who vote for the NDP, not necessarily fee-paying, card-carrying members, Charlie Angus won almost every single poll by pretty good numbers except for a couple. And when polling every Canadian, the numbers were still better, but he only won about half the polls. In the June poll, Angus got 5% of support, while Singh got 7%, and in September, Angus got 6% and Singh 11%. Now again, I'm not trying to imply here that Charlie Angus would have destroyed Singh in the election if it was open to the public, and Angus, objectively speaking, probably did worse in the debates than Jagmeet Singh. But number one, opening the gates to who can actually vote in the leadership election, in this instance, actually might have made Charlie Angus the winner. Using the margins for the Every Canadian Voter poll, Singh would not have gotten over the 50% mark in the first round, and that possibly could have made Charlie Angus the leader in the second or third. But taking a step back from this one election at one point in time, and instead going to the macro trend, when only people with enough money and care, which is it's mostly care, to sign up for the party can vote, it produces a kind of Joe Biden effect. One that produces a safer, more incentivized by a fear-based decision-making type of leader. One that puts more power into party elites than the broader public. And well, we know how that one turned out. And of course, it creates a leader that flows better with a wealthier voter base than a populist voting base. Not that everyone who has $5 every year to vote in a leadership race is an aristocrat, but you get my point. Especially considering that the NDP isn't more likely to have normal, working class, everyday people vote in it if there's not this big debate or contest going on that you hear about in the news and stuff like that. Meaning that the people who decide whether or not to actually keep on a bad leader are, again, just the people who are wealthy enough to be actively donating to the NDP even when there isn't an election. Contrast this with the Liberal leadership race. I voted in the Liberal leadership race because I have liked the idea of Mark Carney as a candidate for a while now. God, it seems like forever ago, doesn't it? And so when it was time to sign up for the Liberal Party, it didn't cost me a dime. I got all my friends to sign up for the Liberal Party and vote for Mark Carney. I even donated and canvassed. Let me say that one more time. I became a Liberal. I got my friends to become Liberals and vote for Mark Carney in the leadership review, and then I donated, and then I canvassed. Only after I got an email saying, hey, you are a Liberal. You are a member of the Liberal Party. Welcome. I donated to the Liberals and canvassed for them. I didn't do that before, I did it after. It's very funny that the party who is known for helping the rich, educated elite lets literally anyone join and anyone vote, and the party that is known for supporting the workers charges $20 a year before it even decides to listen to you.
Well, Hudson, the Liberal Party is so big that it doesn't need to charge people just to join, but the NDP isn't.
Number one, let's not pretend that the NDP leadership makes every cent count, all right? I'll refer you back to the first few minutes of this video. And number two, you can get funding in two ways in politics. You can get a lot of small dollar donations from many people, or you can get a handful of big dollar donations from a few rich people. Trying to do both doesn't work. And when you make one decision and you decide, I'm gonna try and get money this way, I'm gonna try and get money that way, it's really hard to try and switch up. If the NDP came out tomorrow and said, hey, everyone can vote on who our next leader is, and anyone can run, that would piss off all their paying members and they'd lose money. But of course, it's obviously better most elections if they come down to what money wants or what people want. At least when like the big picture federal elections, people tend to win. Sometimes they make a decision that they regret, and maybe that's because of moneyed interests, but still, the NDP does absolutely have to do this for money, but they could also have worked hard to get money through other methods. And real quick, I'm a Liberal. I'm not just here to say money bad and be pleasured under the table by a bunch of commies and socialists, all right? You guys are stupid sometimes, if I'm being frank. Only being able to analyze any issue from the lens of class and capital is dumb, and you know it. Seriously, I've seen how you guys react when confronted with the truth that not every problem is billionaires. Seeing y'all absolutely massacre my boy Abundance by Ezra Klein, he didn't deserve that. He's just a book with a heart and smile. But my point earlier, if the NDP had realized earlier that trying to cozy up to billionaires for their funding doesn't work, we wouldn't be here right now. And where we are right now is terrible. According to this article put out by the Globe and Mail, the specifics of the rules will help determine the overall number of candidates who jump into the race. The 2017 contest, which Mr. Singh won on the first ballot, had an entry fee of $30,000 and a campaign expense limit of $1.5 million. Miss Monk said she expects the entry fee to be significantly higher this time around, at least $150,000, talk about inflation, less than 10 years, 5x, with a portion of that being refundable. Candidates need to be able to inspire people to donate, she said, and not be afraid of fundraising. The $150,000 amount is about the amount someone should be able to raise for their riding, she said, in a hilariously out-of-touch sentence that somehow didn't hit her how stupid it was. Number one, I guess rural ridings don't exist. If I got 10 people, they're not each donating $15,000, Mrs. Monk. The NDP started out with the United Farmers Movement. How much of their current voter base would you say are farmers right now? Guess. My dad is a ridiculously old man who was a union man his entire life. He was a staunch NDP voter for a very long time until eventually he felt like they didn't care about the working class. He then voted for the Green Party, not because he liked the Green Party. He kind of did it as like a joke and then kept doing it, and we didn't really take him seriously when he said like, oh, I vote for the Green Party. We kept asking him for who he voted for, and then one day he said the Green Party, and then we actually believed him. And I said, you know, the whole point of the Green Party is that they're anti-pipeline, right? I swear to God, he looked at me like he saw a ghost in that second. And then we all laughed our ass off for a good hour. It's time to realize that the educated people who go to university and now vote for the NDP are not the party of the farmers, laborers, and working class who built the NDP. Consistently, the NDP has taken the side of making their brand and image that of really far left people instead of workers. I mean, good lord, one of the most important documents in the founding of the NDP was the Winnipeg Declaration. I won't read you the whole thing, but I will show you the first page. Yeah, you're reading that right. The first page talks about inequality, followed by the folly of wasted resources. Furthermore, even during a time of high employment, Canada's productive capacity is not fully utilized. Its use is governed by the dictates of private economic power and by considerations of private profit. Similarly, the scramble for profit has wasted and despoiled our rich resources of soil, water, forest, and minerals. This lack of social planning results in a waste of our human as well as our natural resources. Our human resources are wasted through social and economic conditions which stunt human growth, through unemployment, and through our failure to provide adequate education. Oh, what a banger! What a section. Oh my god, you put that in the new NDP manifesto? Good lord, it's a banger. It's a banger. It's a banger. That sentence I just read for you is coming on 50 years old. They could copy and paste that exactly for their new platform and just make that their platform, and their voter base would double. It's just like a beautiful sentence. It hits on everything. It's just perfect. I love it. Why not have a party that champions our resources, including our renewable ones, but does it in a way so that we can still kind of care about climate change, and we're doing it in a way that makes billionaires and rich people the enemy? It's based. Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't you doing that? Why has the NDP continuously cucked out to capitalists more and more and more, but double down on all the cringe things? You don't believe me that the NDP have cucked out? I just read you the second paragraph. Why don't you read out for the class the name of the fourth one? Some may say the NDP is absolutely cooked. It's gone too far, and moderating and giving capitalists that gluck that it forgot about workers. I don't think it's impossible they come back from this, but I think they're down on their luck. I'm a capitalist. I want that on the record. I'm a capitalist. The one thing I have to say to the NDP as a moderate, center-left liberal, I don't want you, and I shouldn't want you. I shouldn't be voting for you. I feel bad. I feel like my once sworn enemy is camping out on my couch till he gets back on his feet. That's what I feel like right now. NDP, just be socialist again. It's fine. You can be... It's fine. It's fine. It's not that big. It's fine. You could just be socialist, but don't do it in the dyed hair, neo-pronouns way. It's fine if you want to care about that stuff. I'll take the heat of publicly caring about that. Just focus on winning over workers again. If I have to give one piece of advice for the NDP, then it's this. If going the way of a big billion-dollar corporation got you into this mess, it'll be the strat for getting you out, baby. We've all seen the trends. We've all noticed the changes, all right? First it was Burger King, then it was Pepsi. I'll say it. The NDP has to go back to their old logo, really change things up and show everybody they mean business again. Let's see what we're looking at. I want to find the first ever New Democratic Party logo. Are you kidding? Seriously, this logo screams clear your search history after using us with an Empire Strikes Back kind of twist. What am I looking at right now? This logo looks like if I was laying down on my back and a stick figure stood up above me without any clothes on. That's what this looks like. The NDP they're absolutely cooked. They're gone. There's no two ways about it. Just, oh my God, I'll say it. Vote for the Greens.